Hello fans and friends, here we are back at Bob's Barn Workshop. Today we're in the house garage and we're going to start a new series of different projects today. You might get an idea by looking around. Well, we're going to start over here with a 1990 Toro 5 horsepower manual start snowblower, 21 inch. I've had for quite a few years. I bought it used for 90 bucks to clean out just my narrow sidewalk. Well, the other year, it might have not been last year, it might have been the year before, it started blowing oil all over the place. So it's been sitting. And I was worried that something was severely wrong with the engine. Now we'll come back to this in more detail, but I've had the head off already. And I've checked for any wobble in the piston, any play in the rod bearings or anything, and it's tight as hell. So I pulled off, and I'll show you how to do that. I pulled off the breather assembly, which is that little guy right up in there with the hose coming out of it. And in there there's a reed valve that allows positive pressure to come out, and closes when the piston rises and causes negative pressure. So it kind of sucks the oil back in by making a negative pressure inside the crankcase. Well, if that gets plugged up, it can blow the oil out. So I think that's all that was wrong with it. It didn't want to run, so I have pulled the carburetor off, which it's laying here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, there's the carburetor. That's been cleaned. Even though it's cruddy on the outside, it's clean on the inside. So we're going to put this back together. And I got new belts for it, which are laying right here in their packaging. But what we're going to do today is, what's the first thing you usually have to fix on an old snowblower or any small engine? It's the pull start. Well, of course, we pulled this a few times trying to start it a month or so ago, and the rope yanked right out. Well, I went to my local small engine repair place. You know, they sell lots of lawnmowers and all that kind of stuff, and got more rope. Well, the rope they gave me was too fat, and I can't get enough winds around the pulley spindle inside the pull start unit to get a long pull. So I ordered some smaller diameter rope. It's here, and I'm going to show you how to actually rewind and re-rope a simple pull starter. Alright, we'll go inside for that where it's nice and warm. Alright, so here we are. I'm just right in front of my computer bench here. I've got the new finer rope. And as I said, I've rewound this once, so I've had practice. But yeah, if you put too fat a rope in there, the problem is there's not enough room on the spool, which I'll show you that. Now, this was the original rope that came in here. And this is the rope they gave me. Well, you can see, even though the diameter difference is slight, there's a very shallow spool in here to hold the rope, and you can only pull this a little ways before you hit the end of the rope. I mean, this probably would have worked okay, but I want to redo it. So this is the housing, of course, that came off from the lawnmower already. And this one on this particular motor goes on with a couple of sheet metal screws with a 1/4 inch, I think it was probably just a self-tapper. And there's something else about this cover I want to show you before, further on here, that I think is really neat, and it gives me an idea. Uh-oh, Bob's got an idea. That might be a bad thing. Alright, so that guide comes right off. We'll set him aside for now. Alright, so here's the actual mechanism. Now you'll see this might have been replaced before, because there's a $3.34 on this plastic reel. A lot of times you can pull these spools out of different brands, but this one happens to be on a hollow shaft, and you can see that the mouth of the shaft has been staked open to hold it in place, which makes it very difficult to get it off and back in accurately. So this is my trick to the whole thing. I pull it all the way out so the knot is right here by the entrance of the Duflaze. And I poke a screwdriver in here somewhere that will hold it, okay? Now I have, unfortunately, I'm going to be getting rid of this rope anyway, so I'm just going to cut it. And there's the original pull handle. Now that we have this in place, I'm hoping, what I did is I put glue on this knot too. That's another trick when you get down to the end here. I'm just going to work this knot up and out of here. Now it's very similar on the Briggs & Stratton. Okay, so I'll show you another trick. Because I had that fatter rope, the hole through this pulley was way too small for the bigger rope to go in. So what I ended up doing is lining the hole in here up with the side, and I drilled through with a 1/4-inch bit right through the sheet metal and right through the plastic and reamed it out a little bit so the hole is actually bigger. That may not be something you want to do. Now what I'm going to do with this guy is I'm going to try to line that guy up pretty good. That hole right there. And let's see. How does this guy unspool? Well, it doesn't seem to be doing it. Yeah, okay. Alright, now we're back. I did find the end. I just started from the wrong end, so that's how I got screwed up as usual. My luck. They have already melted this rope so it doesn't unwind. If you're going to cut this rope to a certain length on your own, I suggest you wrap tape really tight around it, and then, that's why I brought the wood block, and then cut it right in the middle of the tape, and that'll keep this from unfraying, because this will fray very easily. So now that I have the spring wound as far as it'll go, because I made sure that I turned it as far as I could, and it stops there, see? So the next hole I can reach is right here. To explain that, Lucy. So I'll put my screwdriver back in. So now what we got to try to do is finagle this through the hole. Through the hole in the spool. Oop, there we go. Alright, so now I got the tip of the rope through. I'm going to have to go get the glue. Now you just tie one granny knot and that very tightly. And I'm going to go put some glue on that and we'll be right back. Alright, the view hasn't changed yet. Okay, now I'm back and I've got this glue that I found in the cabinet, and it's fabric and paper glue, so I figured it'll go good on this knot, because you obviously don't want this to come undone. So I'm just going to goober it up a little bit here. Ideally, you let this dry before you continue. I'm just going to massage it in and press it into the fibers. Alright. And we'll clean the glue off my fingers. Just a piece of paper towel. Now, because I'm doing this real time, we'll just continue through here. So you just put your nut back in, easy enough. Take out your screwdriver. And now you let it rewind. And she rewinds a long ways. Now that's to the point where it's hitting. And that's really, really, really long. Okay, now you want to have a little bit of tension left on this, okay? So what we're going to do is, again, put the screwdriver back in. I'm going to do what I told you. Put a piece of masking tape tight around it. Now that cut pretty good with those screwdrivers. Look at that with the screwdriver. Yeah, is that a screwdriver? Yeah, scissors. I guess I'm getting old. No guessing. Anyway, then back through your handle. Now you can pull off your tape. I suppose you could melt this. That's tight. Masking tape is good stuff, you know? Good old masking tape. If I could find the edge of it, there we go. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to glue this again with the Elmer's. Now this is called 4mm starter rope. So I have enough here to replace all the pull handles in my lifetime and yours. Okay. I'm going to cut this off a little long, but I want the knot to be totally recessed. There we go. And we are done. And that's longer than my arms both combined, so I've got more than enough pull. Handle goes back where it should. That's repaired. Now, I wanted to show you something cool about this. We were talking about that engine was manual start, but I was looking at a video that was showing how you could retrofit these Tecumseh engines, and this is a 1990 with electric start. Well, I didn't see the label on here that said that it was, you know, retrofittable. But if you look at the side here, you'll see there's actually a pre-cut detent here all the way through. So all you got to do is twist this out with a pair of pliers because it's already scored, and that's where your starter gear will lay in against the ring gear. And the little plate, the little filler plate that goes in here also has a perforation on it, I noticed. So you just put the little triangle back in the top. So this will work with electric start. And you can buy 110, 120 volt AC electric start kit for that for under $70. It's in the 60s. So if I get this running right, I might retrofit this because my daughter lives alone and she needs something to do her driveway with. And this small 5 horsepower one will be a lot easier for her to handle. Alright, so all I'm going to do is put this back together with the sheet metal screws, and then we'll start working on the snowblower outside.